So my name's Harry, I'm the CEO and founder of Acquired, and what we do is we help scale recruitment agencies from using referrals and just growing off their network to creating automated business development infrastructures that will help them acquire more clients and even more candidates with ease without having to do manual hours of cold calling and manual outreach, etc. This is actually an exact workflow that we mapped out for one of our clients, and I'm going to go through step by step how it works, how you can do the same in your business to start completely scaling your company, right? As I mentioned, this is a 5-step framework that we also use in our business, so we know that this works, right? The 5 steps ultimately are starting with data. You need data to start any business development campaign, whether it's making cold calls, doing emails, running ads, or even creating content. You need data of basically who to reach out to or who to put the message in front of so you know that it will work. Then we do outreach, right? So we currently specialize in cold outreach, and this is how we scaled our agency and our clients. This is through cold email, LinkedIn messages, and cold calls. Once you've got interest from your outreach, then it goes on to appointment setting. This is basically turning interest into a booked call. Once you have a booked call, all you need to do is close the client in the closing aspect and then fulfill for them. So it's a very simple 5-step framework. We've done this time and time again over the last 12 months to go from pretty much zero to well over $50,000 a month, okay? And this is what we're doing for our clients as well. So let's go through this exact framework using all of the tech stack, and you're gonna wanna watch till the very end because I've got some cool bits at the end that will show you how this works in terms of intent triggers you can use to maximize this process. But let's just go through it step by step, show you all of the technology. I'm not going to hold anything back here. I'm going to be as transparent as possible. And yes, this is literally like a framework I built for one of my clients. I'm sharing this with you for free. So it all starts with data. For data, we typically use Apollo.io. So Apollo.io is a software you may be familiar with if you watched a few of my videos. This is where we get loads of data. We can get information on CEOs, owners, founders, corporate business owners at scale, right? It's got, I think, 280 million contacts on here with their phone numbers, email addresses, LinkedIn profiles, Facebook profiles, everything. So in Apollo, all you need to do to get started is actually build a list. So if we go straight to Apollo.io, what we can see it's very simple to actually build a list here, right? So build a list in Apollo with your search filters and your keywords. So if we go into Apollo and I just log in, I can show you exactly what it will look like. So in Apollo here, you can see this is what the dashboard looks like, and we've got all of these filters that we can use to build our list. So what we start by doing is start by building out the job titles. Let's say we want to reach out to CEOs, owners, okay, of companies. And great, we've got 4 million, near enough CEOs and owners worldwide. We can also put in different details about where they want to be located. We can even go as far as actually going through a specific zip code and a radius on that. So if we want to target a specific location that you're really, really targeted, we can also do that. But for the sake of this example, I'll keep it simplistic. So let's go to US. Say we want to contact small companies between 1 and 10 in size. And let's say we want to target companies in the aviations and airlines sector, okay? So we've got almost 2,000 CEOs and owners in the US of small airlines and aviation companies, okay? We've mapped out the market here. We've got everyone we need to. Now, the next stage of the process is exporting this. So you have got 2 options exporting from Apollo. Now, the way that Apollo would want you to do this is export directly from Apollo. However, this can be somewhat expensive. We usually recommend exporting from Apollo if your contact list is under 1,000 contacts. But if it's over 1,000 contacts, then I suppose this is just working with us. We have ways of getting this much cheaper, but you can probably watch videos online to find how to do this as well. So that's not a problem, okay? Once you've got that data, it's very important that you verify this data. So Apollo does have built-in verification tools. In my opinion, they're not the greatest, and you still will get high bounce backs. Your emails will probably suffer, and some of this data will not be accurate. That's just a pre-warning and a preface of using Apollo. So what you'll need to do is verify this data. We actually use Million Verifier and also one called Reune, but for this example, I'd recommend you look at Million Verifier, and this is basically to validate your emails, clean your emails, and ensure that you have a low bounce rate. This is absolutely crucial because if your bounce rate is pretty high, then your emails will be effective and they won't deliver. They won't deliver as well. You'll start running into spam issues and you'll lose your domains, lose your accounts, and you'll be doing zero outreach, making zero money. So it's really important that you verify your email addresses using this tool, okay? It's very simple. All you need to do is upload the CSV that you've either exported from Apollo or exported from another database that can get it slightly cheaper, and upload this into Million Verifier. Awesome. So now you've got your data. It was simple as that. It only took us 5 minutes and we've got all of the data we need. Now what we need to do is we upload our CSV into SmartLead. So SmartLead is one of the systems that we use, one of the email systems, and it's very simple. You just need to create your campaign on SmartLead, which we want to go through in a minute, and then upload your list. So how do we actually create our campaign? So we've got our data from Apollo. Now let's go to SmartLead. So let's type in SmartLead in here, and I will log into my account. So now what we need to do is in SmartLead, you can either create a new campaign or pick a current campaign. Of course, if this is your first time watching this, you don't currently use SmartLead, then you're obviously going to need to create a new one. But if you do currently use SmartLead, then you might pick a current one. Or once you've done this process once, you can continue to watch this video and do it again and again to start to scale your campaigns. But it all starts with creating that new campaign, right? So here's what we want to do. So in Apollo, all we'd want to do is go to new, create new campaign. And this is where we've got a 4-step process of how we would create a new campaign and get it running. So as you can see, the first step is upload the leads. And that's why we pulled it from Apollo and put it into Million Verifier. It's coming into use now. All we need to do is upload the CSV file straight into here where it says, pick the CSV that we want to upload, and it will upload it into that for us. So what we need in the CSV is the first name of the contact, the company name, of course their email, otherwise we've got no way of reaching out to them. Maybe also some relevancy, as in if this company is funded or not. You don't need, this is optional stuff, but we'll go on to this a little bit later in the video. But ultimately, all the data you want in your email, you want to put in that CSV file. Okay, so if it's looking for job openings, you also want that to be in the CSV file. But very simply, all you need is first name, company name, and email address. Okay, maybe location as well. So once you've got that mapped in there, then you want to map the variables. So these are the ones that I mentioned. First name, I put last name here as well, location, email, company name. Those are the basics that I'd put in of every CSV, and you'd map these. So what mapping it means is when we send emails at scale, so we've got 1,000 contacts and we want to send 1,000 emails, how low leverage is it to say, hey Harry, hey John, hey XYZ, and do this manually? We don't want to do that. So what we'd do is we'd say, hey custom variable, or hey first name, and then SmartLead would pull in the first names and all the variables for us. I know this might be very basic right now, hopefully you're not switching off, because we'll get a little bit more advanced in a second, but that I just need to cover that. So once we've got that in and it's constantly, it's churning out basically personalized emails, then we obviously have to write the script. So the next step, our leads are imported, we've mapped the variables, now it's time for us to write a script. Now we have high converting scripts that work for literally every company. Obviously you get that for potentially by working with us or applying to work with us and see if we're a good fit. But if you don't, then this is something you will need to test, right? Maybe write a script, put it into the market, see if it works. Maybe if you're feeling, funky, use ChatGPT. Not sure you're going to get the best results putting it into ChatGPT, but it's worth testing, right? This is all about creating a script that you think will work and then testing it to validate your offer in the market. If it does work, awesome, scale. If it doesn't, try a new one. And that's why within SmartLead we have variants. So we can create one email, we can test it back to back with another type of email to the same audience, back to back with another type of email. Usually I test anywhere from 3 to 5 variants here. I think anything more than that, you start to dilute the message and you're not sending enough of each message to withdraw concrete conclusions on whether it's working or not. So create 3 to 5 variants, test them in the market, see what's working, see what you're getting back. In your follow-ups, start adding follow-ups as well. So if we just message someone like once and never message them again or email them again, there's a low chance they get back to us. So what we want to do is typically we want to have 3 email follow-ups or 2 email follow-ups, sorry, a 3-step sequence, usually waiting 3 and 4 days in between. That's technically our best process. And we don't add a subject line to these follow-up emails. So basically we have it in the same thread. This is to not risk deliverability again. Once you've got in the inbox once with an email, if you reply to that same email, you're going to be in the box again, right? You're going to be in the inbox again, and you're not going to be landing in spam. So that's how we do that. Now, what we do after we've written the script is get those emails set up. So I've got videos that will go in much more detail about how to write a great script. This is more technically how to get set up and started. And if you are struggling with writing scripts, then message me on LinkedIn or Instagram and I'll be able to help. But once you've got that all in play and you've got those scripts written out, then all you need to do is set up your emails. Okay, so I'm just going to put test in here just so we can go on to the next step. And we should be able to set up these emails. What we want to do here is hook up emails that you would have created. So say, for example, your main domain is marketing.com, right? And harry@marketing.com. You don't want to send emails from your main email because you'll risk the spam, you'll risk the blacklist, you'll risk all these deliverability aspects. What you want to do is create new domains and new email accounts and hook them up to this system, okay? Hook them up to this software. So you may have 10 different email accounts you want to use. We would recommend 10 to 20 if you want to see any real sort of traction. Hook them up to SmartLead and really just choose to send from them, right? So that will pick up all of the inboxes we're currently running with, all of the email accounts we have in our system, and you want to connect your email accounts so it's sending from each of them, right? So it's sending, say you've got 20 email accounts, you want to do 80 or 800 messages a day, it will be 40 emails per account, okay? This is where you'll hook them up. And then you can also set your schedule to start in what specific time zone you want, because you don't want to be messaging or emailing people in the middle of the night if you're in a different time zone. And we can also do the follow-up process. With SmartLead, I like to leave all of these as default, but just change this, either remove this or set it to a very high number, because if you have a lot of inboxes and you only limit yourself to 100 emails a day, it'll be much harder to see results. But once you have those inbox set up, I wouldn't recommend sending more than 40 emails a day, just because you want to be more likely to land in the spam folder. We typically try and keep it safe with around 20, and we leave the rest of the settings as default, as I've mentioned, okay? Once you've done that, you've got your lists uploaded, you've got your scripts written, and you've got your email addresses hooked up, you can do a final review of these emails. What that means is you can see what they'll look like before you send them out. Now, we don't have a CSV uploaded in here, so we won't be able to see this, but all it will say is it will basically map out the custom variables. So say you've got one script that says, hey, first name, saw you were based in City. What in final review will say is it will say, hey, Harry, saw you were based in Brighton. Hey, John, saw you were based in New York. And you'll make sure that all of these custom variables map out correctly. And you can go through one by one and see if there's any issues. For example, in one of the emails, if it doesn't pull through the custom variable, then you'll need to go and address this. Or maybe create an if statement in the script. So if it doesn't find the location or the name, it will say something else. Once again, a little bit more complex, and this is what we do for our systems and our clients. If you need help with that, book a call below. But once you've started sending, but once you've done that final review, you're happy with all of the emails that are going out, you've got your list uploaded, you've got your script written, you've got your sending pattern sorted, and you're ready to go. Now it's a question of start sending your emails, okay? Start blasting them out, and you're going to start getting responses. Once you do start getting responses, it's all into the setting process. So this is appointment setting. This is not just a question of getting replies anymore. This is a question of turning the replies into meetings booked. Because ultimately that's what matters in the sales process. We want to make sales, we want to make money. We're not too interested in just getting people to reply to us. So that's why we have this process on the back end as well. But as you'll see, as we start sending these emails, it's not just about blasting out as many as we can. It's about keeping our email accounts healthy and active. So as you can see with my inboxes, I've got 136 of my inboxes here, and you can see they're all at 100% health, okay? So we've got some sending 20, some sending 10, but I can monitor the health of these inboxes. I can see that, they're all basically landing in the inbox. I've got no issues here whatsoever, which is great. And you just want to monitor this, basically. So for, 2 weeks of running the campaigns, 3 weeks of running the campaigns, you want to monitor this. And if your campaigns or your email address, and if your email accounts are above 95% in health on SmartLead, then you can slowly start to ramp this up. So look, ramp up by 5 per day, up to an upper limit of 40. So as you can see here, with all of these accounts, they're all at 100. So I could easily set this to 25 daily limit tomorrow and see how they fare, okay? I'd probably leave it a couple of days to readjust and reset after I've upped that limit. But ultimately, if your email accounts are healthy, you can continue to slightly push the boundaries up until that 40 per day limit. Okay? If they're below 90%, then you clearly have an issue. I've got one that's disconnected here, but I'm going to see if there's any that are below 90%. Doesn't look like I do. But if I did, then what I'd do is I'd reduce the volume significantly. So say I was sending 20 emails per day, but this was 88% health, I'd know this inbox is landing in spam. And you'd be able to see that by clicking on the inbox, and it will probably have 12%, 15%, whatever the percentages of emails landed in spam. If that's the case, then you need to significantly drop the volume by probably like 50%, maybe even more. And hopefully after 1 to 2 weeks, this will readjust and the health will come back up and you can start using it again. There's no point blasting emails out from accounts that aren't healthy and aren't optimized, because no one will even read the email. It will just simply go to spam. And this is the problem with honestly 95% of businesses. All of your outreach is falling on deaf ears because you're going to spam. So put the systems in place to avoid that, okay? I had to preface that out to make sure that was really important. But ultimately, if everything's healthy, like it is with my accounts, they're 100%, we're getting replies, all we need to do is categorize our leads in here, basically share if they're interested, not interested, out of office, etc., and just hit reply, right, and get back to reply. Now, in terms of setting, if we want to maximize for calls booked, getting back to our leads as quickly as possible is crucial, okay? I haven't included that here. This is simply just how to set up your campaigns. But once it's actually running, management is a whole nother video and a whole nother aspect. But getting back to your leads as soon as they reply is one of the most important things you can do to maximize your results. But ultimately, that is step by step how you can go through and create a system and a campaign for yourself on Smart Lead using Apollo, using all the data and getting it running in probably just a couple of hours, right? Once you've written that script, built your list, etc. Okay, if you need help building this system for your business or scaling your recruiting agency or other type of agency, then book a call with us below, as this is what we specialize in. We build systems like this every single day. So if that's something you need or you're interested in learning more about, feel free to book a call using the link below. But if not, I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.